realize what your life means?
Stop with this. What are you so afraid of?
Well, Steve, we are back once more in the world of The Last of Us, but this one is part 1. This is the remake from Naughty Dog coming to the PlayStation 5 of another remake. It's one of those, it's been a controversial subject here in the world of Last of Us, but Naughty Dog themselves over there, the powerful powerhouse of a team, wanted to rebuild Joel and Ellie's story moving forward into the latest generation of consoles. And here it is once more, PS5. Dude, this is wow, this is a bit of a showstopper. What do you think here, Steve?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Wow.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot to talk about, but visually, they've just stepped it up here. I mean, to be honest with you, like the detail on every, like the blade of grass to the trees, even all the fine details, like when you go through the houses, when you're looking for crafting materials, like little cans here that get knocked off, and they just thought of everything, and they put so much graphically in this game and enhanced it so much. It's unbelievable.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Naughty Dog has a vision for what The Last of Us was at the time. So at the time, this was a PS3 title, and then brought over to PS4. And now again, which is the biggest kind of gripe of contention for a lot of people, is here we go again, right? It's another one that we've already played, again with a remaster, but now we're getting the definitive edition in a sense. This is easily the best edition, the best version, the best experience you will get in The Last of Us Part 1, right? There, everything has been stepped up. The graphical fidelity and the way everything is, just the movement in the world. I know there's a bit of an issue out there where people saw some combat and were like, well, what is this? I'm like, that is not there. So if you saw that clip over on Twitter, wherever, don't even think about it, because the combat in this game is fantastic. Dude, it is mind-blowing how much this is the version they wanted, right? This is it. This is what we experienced from The Last of Us Part 2, brought over to The Last of Us Part 1, and really stepped up what we've been used to. Just new mechanics, not brand new mechanics, but kind of elevated to that next level, just like the graphic fidelity. But again, here's where this is my biggest issue, Steve. If you've played The Last of Us, you've played this version too. Yeah. That's really what it comes down to, right? The story isn't any different. They're not going to change the story. They're going to change your experience by making it prettier, by making the gameplay mechanics move a little bit better, having a better fidelity. They've incorporated the DualSense controller now, so we get that haptic feedback. Steve, what do you think about the haptic feedback in the controller? Dude, I love this controller.
Oh, I did. I love it so much, especially like when you're pulling back on that bow and you just feel that tension on it, and you just take a boo and you just let it go. But even the DLC, the Left Behind, when you sort of have a water fight with Riley, you have to pump that trigger to get the water gun, your Nerf gun pumped up before you can squirt the water. But it just makes that extra experience much more enjoyable. And the audio as well, it feels like they've enhanced that with the 3D audio. And I will even say, like, the NPCs, like I even had Ellie, when I ran out of bullets, come up to me and say, here you go, and hand me some more. Just the little tweaks and the little things in there that leaves a big impact. And like I said, even though we did play it previously, I played on the PS4. I didn't think I'd be completed to the end of this either, and I was highly impressed all the way through this and the DLC.
It's worth every moment of your time, right? I think that's one of those things. It is one of the PlayStation staples of the generation, of a timepiece back in the PS3 and brought forward. It is, The Last of Us is just a staple within the entire industry alone. The Last of Us Part 1 now has been brought up to today's standards. And that's the biggest takeaway, right? Everything now has just been brought to that next level. If that's your experience that you're looking for, believe me, this is it for you. You want to get this thing. The Last of Us is easily where everything starts. They're getting, without a doubt, I guarantee you, they're getting ready for the HBO series, and this is one of the reasons why it's dropping right now as well. It's to kind of get people invested in The Last of Us who haven't experienced it. If you have not experienced it, you are lucky, because this is the best way to experience the game. Last of Us Part 1. then get you into part 2, and then the show. That's where the game plan is here, I think, is why it kind of falls out this way. But it just modernized everything. Accessibility has now been a big feature within the game as well, Steve. So there's a lot more accessible options for people who were having some struggles trying to experience the game. A lot of people couldn't experience the first game just due to some accessibility options and issues with the game. Now a lot of them, that's been changed.
And they done that from the second one. They implemented all these accessibilities in the second one, and realized that it was getting more of expanding the audience. And why shouldn't people enjoy what a phenomenal game the 1 and 2 is? So to put that on the first one, start at the beginning and have all the accessibilities to widen that audience, I think good for Naughty Dog.
Absolutely. And one of my best features, one of my favorite features, dude, is the photo mode. I get sucked into these every time. You get a beautiful world. You want to kind of screenshot that moment. Or even like, I do, man, I lost a couple hours here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I do get sucked into that kind of, let me see if I can just tweak it this way. There was a couple things I was hoping to, I was focused on Joel, and I wanted to be able to focus and shift over to Ellie at some points, or even some at Triss back in the time. Like there's some other elements and things I wanted to kind of manipulate that I wasn't able to do, but I think if I took my time a little bit more, manipulated the camera positioning, I can then focus on some of the other people within the world. But it really kind of narrowed you in on the particular subject that you were playing at the time. So it was that kind of thing. But the level of detail, again, elevated. Dude, we were over in some office buildings, and you could see through the glass, which then could see through to the horizon and what's in the distance. It was just like, wow.
I found that with the mirrors. When you go through the rooms, you go across mirrors, you got your flashlight, and it just gets that glare. Just phenomenally good.
It's an amazing experience, without a doubt, right? But if you've played it, you've played it. But do you want to play it again? And if you do, this is by no means, this is one you should definitely be playing again. Steve, I think we've gushed enough. This is easily one of the best games. Once again, without a doubt, Naughty Dog does not disappoint. What do you score in The Last of Us Part 1 remake?
To my sure, I had an amazing time. I highly recommend you finish the game because you get the extra mode where you got all the skins and photographs and all that kind of cool stuff. And with all the accessibility, I mean, it has to be a 10. I mean, let everyone enjoy what an amazing game this is. How about you?
Yeah. Oh, man. For me, I've done it, right? Like, I've played this. I think that's the biggest hold up for me. I think the game is amazing. It's absolutely incredible. It's such an engaging story. And that gut punch in the beginning is just still the same experience I experienced way back then. But I knew it was coming, and it still got me, Steve. Still got me. But yeah, dude, I can't praise this game enough. I'm there with the 9.5.
Faster!
Gotcha!